About a year ago, I was homeless and took myself from being homeless to making over six figures in around 10 months, and took myself from being on the verge of getting evicted to making over six figures in less than 60 days. And now I am on a mission to be able to help other people be able to do the exact same thing that I did using AI, marketing, and most importantly, your mindset. Because I believe that no matter what you do, if you don't have your mindset already attached and inside of a good state, you won't be able to get there. So I think in frameworks. I say all the time that frameworks is how my brain works, and I want to give you another framework today. And I'm going to only be able to give you pieces of it at a time just to make sure it's bite size and that you can actually digest everything that I'm going to tell you. And this framework was one that I learned from a mentor of mine a long time ago. And he didn't have a name for it. I had to make a name for it. I called it PAT, right? And it's not PAT, it's PAATT, right? And the first P stands for patience. There's patience, ambition, accountability, teachability, and being able to trust your own judgment. And each one is very important in its own unique way. Each one is very important in its own unique way. The first one we're going to talk about, though, is patience. Patience is so vital, and I didn't realize how important patience was until I got to the point that when I got older, you know, when you're younger, right? And people will tell you, you'll understand when you get older. It's a fact. It's a fact. There was so many things I didn't understand until I got to a certain point inside my life, until I got to a certain age. There were just things that I just did not get. And now I get them. And it took me so long to realize that it takes 20 years to be 20 years old. You can't speed up the process. You can't rush it. No matter what you do, if you try to drink or smoke or things like that, it won't make you the legal age. The only thing that's going to make you the legal age is the time that it takes to become that legal age. And I realized that the same thing comes with a certain level of success. There's a certain amount of time that must pass. But the thing is, I realized it's not about time in years. It's about time under tension. How much time under tension can you withstand before you break, before you have the breakthrough, right? So when I say before you break, I mean before you break through. How much time under that tension, can you handle? Because the thing that I need people to understand is when you're in the process of becoming more than you've ever been, that means that you have to do more than you've ever done. And when we talk about patience being the time under tension, I think there's a big difference between patience and waiting. I think a lot of us are waiting, and I don't mean, fuck it. People need to stop with this. I'm waiting for God to tell me what to do next. I think that's bullshit. I think it's complete bullshit. Not to make things too religious. It's bullshit. You are not waiting for God to tell you to move. God is waiting for you to move to give you direction. Because a lot of us are not moving, so we can't be guided. You can't be taken to a place if you don't first know where you're at and start going in a direction. Even if you get inside of a car and you turn on your GPS, it might be turning all the way around. It can't even reroute you to the next destination until you start moving, and it can see what's direction you're headed. But most of us are not moving, so we can't be given any directions, because anything that is given to us, we can't follow it because it don't know which way we're actually going, right? So when I say patience, I don't mean just sitting there and just waiting for something to happen. Patience is working while you wait. Patience is working while you wait. And a lot of the times, a lot of us are not working while we're waiting. We're just sitting there hoping that something happened without anything else happening. And I will say that when your opportunity comes to you, it will either reveal you or expose you. It will reveal you if you were sitting in the dark working while you was waiting, it will expose you if you was waiting and not working. And a lot of us, and one thing that we really need to understand, it took me a while to recognize this and to truly understand that patience is so very key, because timing can determine your value in the marketplace. If you get in too early, it can be bad. If you get in too late, it can be bad. But if you get in right on time, you will save yourself so much time, money, energy, effort, everything. Some of us want to speed things up so fast, not knowing that there are certain things that has to happen to get us to a certain point. So it would be the person that can actually handle it. And when I talked about the time under tension earlier in the video, when I say that time under tension, what I am meaning is that it takes a certain amount of time of you reading books, learning entrepreneurship, understanding money, understanding yourself. But that takes time. And only after a certain amount of time of doing that thing does the results actually start to show. Do you actually start to see any change? The same thing when it comes to your body. Until you reach a certain age, there are certain things that's not going to happen. You might not grow facial hair until you hit a certain age. For young women, you might not see certain changes in your body until you reach a certain age. And that's something where patience ties in, but it's the same thing when it goes to you trying to become successful. There's a certain amount of time in which you must be working while you're waiting for something to happen. It was something that I believe I heard it from Alex Hermosi. He said, he said, nothing is work but doing the work. Nothing is work but doing the work. Planning to do the work is not the work. Thinking about the work is not the work. But there's something I heard from Myron Golden, and he said, when you think that the work is not working, the work is working on you. When you think that the work is not working, the work is working on you. And a lot of times we don't give the work enough time to work on us. We quit. We get shiny object syndrome, and we go from one thing to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. And we wonder why we never achieve certain results inside of our life. It's simply because we haven't been patient long enough. The longer you can be patient, and I don't mean just sit there, the longer you can work and then start to see your results. And don't get me wrong, don't work hard and stay working inside of the wrong vehicle. That's going to be to your detriment, not to your gain. But as we slowly start to keep going down this route of personal development, understanding finances, understanding ourselves, we get to a point where finally we start to see the results. Finally, things start to make sense. You'd be like, oh, wait, now I see when that happened, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have been able to achieve this, right? And it's something that I tell people all the time, is that I was fortunate enough to live an unfortunate life. And that unfortunate life gave me so many fortunate circumstances, because if it wasn't for me becoming homeless at a young age, I wouldn't have learned about financial literacy at a young age, because I was forced to understand it. If I was never forced to understand it, I would have never went out there and seek the knowledge myself. There would have never been a need to do so. And because I went to go do that, it made me go down this rabbit hole of personal development and then understanding finances and understanding credit and doing all these different things. And all this time I was sitting there thinking like, this is not working, it's not working, it's not working. Became homeless again, it's not working, it's not working. Got a place, got a girl, we broke up, it's not working, it's not working. I'm learning this new skill, it's not working. I'm not understanding how I'm doing all this work and the work is not working. But I didn't realize that the work is working on me because it helped me develop all these stackable skills that now that I'm at the point of being able to make six figures and beyond, it's like all of those skills that I learned over the years, it makes sense now why everything was happening. It only made sense at the end. It's almost like when you're doing the connect the dots thing, right? And they tell you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All those things, they just look like dots on a page until you start connecting them one by the other, by the other, by the other, by the other. And the reason that that's so important is it goes right back to the thing I've been trying to beat in your head the whole video. Working while you wait. Ooh, that's a good one. Working while you wait is like playing connect the dots, because you can sit there and you can look at the dots and they'll never become nothing. But the moment you start drawing lines to each one of those things, you do have to still be patient because you don't know what it's going to be. But as long as you are working while you wait, you will see the bigger picture at the end when you've drawn all of the lines. Ooh, I need to write that down. That one was good. That one was good, James. So, seriously, patience is one of the first things that you must have, because rushing things can ruin things, and then moving too slow sometimes means things will never grow. Rushing things can ruin things, and moving too slow means that it may never grow. You must know how to be patient and work during that time so that you can actually get to a point where you become the person who is needed to achieve the thing that you set out to do and can actually maintain it. So that's the first thing, is patience. The next thing that we're going to go over is ambition, right? But ambition is something that we're going to go over inside of our next video, because that one is going to go deeper into how do you get that fuel, that fire to actually go after your dreams, goals, and aspirations and achieve anything you actually set your mind to. So I'm going to see you on the next one. Peace.